Hi YouTube, so today I'm doing more testing new makeup video, but today we're just gonna focus on Revolution and Revolution Pro products. So you might ask, what is the difference between Revolution and Revolution Pro? Now, let me tell you. So Town Beauty used to own Makeup Revolution and a couple other brands as well. It's like Obsession, that's in Boots, you have Freedom, I think it's I Heart Makeup as well, but now they've done a revamp. So now Makeup Revolution is just called Revolution. Freedom's gone now. Instead, they have introduced a new brand called Revolution Pro. So I bought a bunch of goodies off Superdrug's website, and if you want to see how I achieve this makeup look and what I think of the products, then keep on watching. So once again, I've already primed my face, so now we're going with foundation. And the foundation I'm going to try today is the Revolution... where is the name? Revolution Fast Base Stick Foundation. I bought a couple of shades just to see which one suits me the best, since I don't have time to actually swatch it in store. First of all, the packaging is really pretty. It's this like really pretty nudish pink colour. Kind of looks like KKW1, you know what I mean? Rose gold little details, and also it's matte, so it feels quite nice. It's also rose gold inside as well. That is just white, isn't it? Okay. No, that one is never going to work. First of all, one thing I need to complain right now is the shade range is a bit odd. This one's F3, this one's F4, and in between is F5. And I'm like, what about the people who have skin tone just between them? Like F4 and F5 have such a massive difference, it doesn't make any sense. F5 is the ideal match of my skin tone, but I do like my foundation to be just a little bit paler, so I'm gonna mix it with F4 as well. Now I look like an idiot, yay! Now I'm gonna blend everything with my beauty blender because that's my preferred way to blend out foundation. My first impression of this foundation is it looks really nice. It's definitely not a lightweight foundation. You can see quite a bit of coverage, so I would say it's a medium to full coverage. I'm not going to build up more because this is actually usually how I like my foundation anyway. It looks quite natural, surprisingly, in a way. I don't know how to explain it. It looks quite natural. The only problem is that you can feel the foundation on your skin. It feels like something is there. So if you don't like that type of foundation, it might not be for you. Quick close up of how my skin looks right now. It covers the redness around my nose quite well actually, but you can still see a little bit of pigmentation here and there. So it's not, you know, it's not the most full coverage one. I say if you build it up, it might work, but I quite like it so far. And then we're going in with concealer. This is actually one of the things that I'm most excited about. It's the Revolution Conceal and Divine Full Coverage Conceal and Contour. There was a massive hype about this concealer because first of all, it's £4. Really, really affordable. And second, everyone says it's a dupe of the Tarte Shape Tape, which I have. Shape Tape is an amazing concealer. I have it. I don't particularly like it around under my eyes because it's a little bit too thick. But if you want to cover something, just a tiny little bit can go a long, long way. So I'm very excited to try these ones. One of the main reasons why this concealer is a dupe for Tarte Shape Tape is this massive doe foot applicator. I really think this is even bigger than the Tarte Shape Tape one. Okay, anyway, I'm just gonna go in and see what happens. I am using C4. And then again, just blend it with my little beauty blender. Sorry, I just switched the light on because it's getting really dark outside for some reason. So yeah, but back to concealer. It's a pretty darn good concealer, I have to say. The concealer is quite thick, so it definitely goes a long way. It does cover most of the stuff pretty well. I mean, I can still see, again, if I do a little close up, you can still see a little line, but I really think that's a problem with every single concealer I have. But apart from that, everything's concealed quite well. Like, if you don't you know, do a close-up of me, I don't think you can see a dark circle that well anyway, so that is a big thumbs up. And I'm gonna bake my under eye with this thing. This thing's the Revolution Luxury Powder in Banana. Potato nut, banana. My obsession with minion will never fade. Ever. Oh my god, it's really yellow. That is pretty darn yellow. If not, it's going kind of orange. Slightly concerning. But, well, if it doesn't work, we have another powder that I'm going to put all over my face. So we can use that to save it a little bit. Who cares? Do you see what's going on? Tiny little... The powder is like globbed into a little... I don't know what's going on. The powder just bunched up all together. I'm so confused. Sorry, the banana powder is just a no for me. Like, everything is a little bit too dark for me. So that is just a pass. So I'm just going to go in with another powder. This is the Revolution Lace Luxury Baking Powder. Hopefully this is going to do better than the one before. This is already so much better. Oh my god. Overall, I'm enjoying this little powder. It's very finely milled and it looks like there's a ton of product in there. Like, you don't need a ton anyway. The only problem obviously is because loose powder again, don't wear black like I do. Otherwise you're gonna get it everywhere. The small downside is the cap. So I like the Laura Mercier one because I normally just dunk it on the lid and then just tapped it. And this one, the lid is just so tiny that sometimes it's sponge, when you dip it in, you have to go back again and again and again. Slightly annoying, but I can look past that because it's again like £5, I think. Is it £5? I think it's £4 or £5. It's just very affordable stuff that you just can't beat. Now we're going into some Revolution Pro stuff. So this is their Microblading Effect Eyebrow Pencil. I have it in the shade, is it Ebony? I can never pronounce any words, I think you know that by now. But it looks a little bit like this. So on one side you have a very tiny little spoolie and on the other side you have the pencil. So a very standard kind of eyebrow pencil, and since Anastasia become a big thing. So we're just gonna do the brows. Oh god. Oh god. I thought this shade is supposed to be for dark brunette / black hair. I'm not sure if you can see it on the camera, but in person it looks far too warm for me. Like my Benefit one, it's legit like a dark brown / black. As well as the Maybelline one that I tried just a couple weeks ago. This looks red. I'm not even kidding. It's so red, it's a joke. I can't say I like this too much. My problem is that I like an eyebrow pencil that's a bit thicker. So I like the Anastasia Brow Diviner, I like the Maybelline one I tried, I also like the Benefit one. This one is just too thin, so it takes a long time to fill your brows in, and also I thought this shade's supposed to be for dark brunette and black hair, and the eyebrow pencil just, it's far too warm. It looks kind of red actually, that I don't really know what's going on. I'm a bit confused. Why did I put the eyebrow pencil? Oh my gosh. Good news, I found it. Bad news is that on Superdrug it does say that this shade is for darkest brunette and black hair. It definitely isn't. Like, it's a completely wrong shade for anyone that's like, you know, have black hair. Especially just look at that. Look at that once again. There is no way this is for brunette and black hair. No way. Like, shade range wise, unless I can go back, if that's in store anyway, I will go back and actually check what colour is the eyebrow pencil before we buy it, because clearly the shade range is a bit weird. Anyway, we'll just move on to the fun part, which is the eyeshadows. So I have two little palettes here, which is one of the, it's the big ones. The other one is a 2, 4, 6, 8 pan eyeshadow. So these are the Revolution Pro Regeneration palette, and this is in Mirage. And these are the Revolution Pro Supreme eyeshadow, and this is in Allure. I already know the Revolution eyeshadow are pretty good because I tried it out in the last video, but these are the Revolution Pro. So is there a different? I don't know. But I have swatched this little bad boy and oh my god. Oh my god. The shimmer shade, the metallic shade here and here. Oh my god. Just hang on a second. Like, what? It's some insane pigments there, I'll tell you. Well, metallic anyway. One thing I noticed straight off the bat is, well, especially with these ones anyway, the eyeshadows are a lot softer. So the metallic shade, it's, as you can see, very beautiful, but it's so soft compared to the Revolution Iconic Reloaded palette, whatever you call them. It's a lot softer, and I hope that it's a lot easier to work with. I don't know, but we're trying to use both and see what happens. I'm gonna start with this palette in the shade Confront and using a fluffy brush and just put it all over my crease. Love words. One thing again is the kickback, it's quite massive. So if you can see that little bit that is just in front of my hand, that's a kickback for me just dipping in a little bit. So again, the kickback is still quite a lot. That hasn't changed. But that doesn't really bother me because most of the eyeshadow these days have quite a lot of kickbacks anyway. And then I'm going to go in with the shade next to it, which is Provoke. So this one, and just add just a tiny little bit of warmth to my eye using, again, another fluffy brush. Oh my god. Mother. Okay, this one's kickback is even more than the other one. Can you, excuse the mic, but can you see it? Oh my god. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. What the hell? And then going with Phonetic just to go in with the little pencil brush here just to deepen the outer and inner corner a little bit. Going in with the Supreme eyeshadow palette, I'm gonna use this purple shade because it's just so pretty. Again, using the pencil brush, I'm gonna just add a little bit of purple, just a little bit, not too much. I'm also noticing there are less fallout on the Supreme eyeshadow than the other one, which is the Regeneration palette. Definitely. Going back to the Regeneration palette, I'm gonna go in with Division, which is the slightly more purpley shade. Again with a pencil brush. Gonna go back with a little bit more Provoke, just along where I just put down the purple so I can blend it out a little bit better. Now the fun part is the metallic shade. I'm gonna go back into the Supreme eyeshadow palette and I think I'm gonna use that purple because oh my god, it's so pretty. It's a very pretty lilac-y purple with a blue reflect on it. So, oh my god. I do think that if you want to use the metallic shade, especially the purpley shade, you might want to put a little bit of Fix Plus or setting spray on the brush before you apply it because it looks very pretty on the hand, but on the eye it doesn't perform as well. But I think you know, nothing a little bit of Fix Plus can't fix. The fallout that's happening, it's insane. Like the insane amount of fallout is crazy. I've just put on some eyeliner and now we're gonna do the lower lash, and I'm gonna again start with this color here on this tiny little brush, and then a little bit of Provoked, And then dip back into the Supreme Eyeshadow palette with that purple. And then last thing, putting the deep purple, which is Division. Now I'm gonna dip into this champagne-y metallic shade and just pop it in the corner. I'm just gonna do a couple of things off camera, which is my mascara, my bronzer, and my contour, and I'll be right back. And just 2 more steps and we're done. And the highlighting palette I'm going to use today is the Revolution Pro 4K highlighter palette. They have 2 different ones. So this is a rose gold one and there is a gold one. So inside here you have these 4 little shades. One thing I noticed right off the bat is that all 4 shades have a bit of glitter in them, which is not my favourite thing. I tend to use more of a shimmery highlighter, but I'm still going to use it. So you have this white shade, a little bit more of champagne gold, more of a gold and a peachy one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip into this one using my Real Techniques setting brush. That is not a lot of highlight I put on my brush, but oh my god. It's super creamy, it applies on the skin really nicely as you can see. It didn't tug on the powder, nothing like that. It's an amazing palette, but obviously the only thing as I've mentioned, that there are a little bit of glitter in them. So if you don't like that glittery highlight look, this might not be for you. And the last thing is the lips. And this is the Revolution Pro Supreme Matte Lip Pigment in the shade Illusion. Probably doesn't really match what I have on the eyes today, but it's the only lipstick I have. Okay, so the top lid is matte, as you can see, and they have a little bit of a rose gold thing going on with like a little pro, but the underneath is plastic. So I would much prefer it just all be matte. It might be a little bit prettier. Anyway, the packaging reminds me of the NARS lip pigment. I think that's what they call it. So we'll see how this one goes. It looks nothing like what it's on the tube. Oh my god, I'm so confused. And this is my completed makeup look. I have to say I'm quite happy with how everything turned out. I didn't have a lot of expectation. I know Revolution is quite a good brand, but I don't know what to expect with the Revolution Pro, and obviously I've never tried Revolution's concealer and foundation either, so everything turns out pretty great. I'm just going to go through all the products again and just tell you what I think of them. Start with the foundation. Foundation's pretty good, I have to say. I'm not really a foundation stick person anymore, so I don't know how much I'm going to reach for them, but it is a very, very good foundation. For £5, you have very full coverage, and they have a pretty good range as well. They have some pretty dark shade and also some pretty light shade as well. So if you're a full coverage girl and you're looking for some affordable drugstore foundation, this is a very good one. And with the concealer, are they a dupe? I'm not sure if they are exact dupe for Tarte Shape Tape. I still think that Tarte Shape Tape have a little bit more coverage than these two, but I have to say for £4 for what they're worth, everything looks very good on my skin right now, and I cannot complain about these ones. They are very good. I'm probably gonna keep using them. And for the powder, I would not use this on myself anymore because the banana powder is clearly too dark for my skin tone. However, if you're a dark skin tone girl who is looking for banana powder, this would be a very good one, as this is like £4–5 and it's drugstore and you have a ton of product, you just can't go wrong. The lace one is definitely the one I would go for. Again, it's so much product. You just look, there is, how much product is in there? 35 gram product. I'm pretty sure Laura Mercier one have less than that, and it's like what, 20 odd quid. This is very good for baking, but as well as just dust it a little bit all over your skin. And yeah, I think this is gonna go with my Laura Mercier Air Coady sponge kind of thing with this one now. So the trio. Now this might be the biggest fail of the whole makeup look, I have to say. Now the formula is actually pretty good. It's more on the soft side. I tend to like something that's just a little bit harder, so it might not be for me formula wise, but the shade. Like, I'm sorry, what is this shade? Like, you say that this is for darkest brunette and black hair, and you give me this red shade. Like, no. If you're looking for an eyebrow pencil in a drugstore, I mean, this is pretty good, but I think you really have to just go in store, have a look, try the shade range first before you buy it, because clearly it's not what it said it is. With both actually, they have quite a few variation of eyeshadow palette you can choose from. With this, you have, I think, a dupe that is similar to the Huda Beauty Rose Gold palette. You have one that is like a colorful matte. You have so many different variations. I was particularly drawn to this because obviously it's very, very warm, it's pinky, everything that I want in an eyeshadow palette. The only problem I have with this is the kickback. But again, with normal Revolution eyeshadow is quite powdery anyway, that I can look past, because most of my eyeshadow nowadays are quite powdery for some reason. I can look past that. Blendability is amazing. I think it's even better than the iconic ones. And for the price, I think this is what, £8 or something? I don't remember, but I'll leave it in the description box. It's definitely something I would try more. I'm gonna buy more palettes to try out. And yeah, this is something that's just insane. These ones are also pretty amazing. The only thing I have is the metallic shade. Metallic shade, you might have to wet your brush, because even though it's very soft and the swatches are great, when you can't apply that much pressure on your lid, it just doesn't perform as well. So I would say if you want to use them and get the most out of the metallic shade, definitely use a wet brush. But I have to say, these are insanely soft. Even with the matte shade doesn't actually have as much fallout as the Regeneration palette. So this is a very, very decent palette that, you know, if you're going for traveling and if you want something that's just slightly smaller, these are very good. And they also comes in a bunch of like different colors as well. So definitely check out the eyeshadow. Like I think Revolution Pro does a pretty amazing job in the eyeshadow palettes. You have seen my reaction to these highlighters. Oh my god. Like, the glow is insane. Like, you can still see it now. The 4 shades, obviously if you are a darker skin tone girl, you will not use these two. You're gonna use more of the 2. But again, these are very affordable makeup. It's £8 for 4 pans. That is insanely cheap. The only downfall for me, again, as I said, is that there are glitters in them. So if you're not more of a glitter highlight girl, you might not like them as much. But the glitter though is not insanely obvious, so it's not like, you know, you can see chunks of glitters on your face if you put it on. So that's something I can look past. These are so far one of the best drugstore highlighter I've used. I highly recommend them if you're looking for a good drugstore highlighter palette, and if you also like a little bit of glitter. The last thing is the lipstick. The tiny little problem I have with this lipstick is that whatever you see here is not the same as what you see on Doe applicator or when you apply it. It's slightly darker, so if you're looking for a lipstick and then you're like, well, I can't exactly. So if you're looking for a lipstick but you can't swatch it, it might be a little bit of a problem. But they have a crazy range of colour you can choose from. I think it's £4. It's a little bit tacky, but it's something that I can look past if it feels quite comfortable, and this is fairly comfortable. So for £4, again, it's a winner, like I have to say. Overall, almost everything I've tried today is definitely a thumbs up. For what it's worth, Revolution is a very affordable brand, as well as Revolution Pro. So if you are someone in the UK or even US now, and if you're looking for something very affordable but in insane quality, something you can buy in like high-end and all that kind of stuff, Revolution is definitely somewhere you want to look into. And that is it for this video. If you enjoyed, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this little channel. I hope you all are having an amazing day, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye! While the palette passed the falling test, it just dropped on the floor and it's still fine, so travel friendly, right?